Hello everybody, this is Alberto Kennedy, aka Grimoire. And this video, let me take off my glasses because the glare is a bit much. There we go. This video is talking about spiritual cleansing of a land or property. I've gone into, in my other videos, I've gone into explaining how you would cleanse your home, spiritually cleanse your home, but there's a lot of people that own property, acres, big areas of land that they own. How do you cleanse that? And I have my notes right here. I wanted to give them this information so they can get started on doing that. Cleansing the land, spiritually cleansing land or property. Why should you, right? If you have land, why should you cleanse the land there? It's always a good idea if you purchase property, large areas of land, you don't know the history. And even if you did the history, go to your historian or research your property. Things have gone on there. You're not the first one to own that land. You're not the first one to occupy that area. It's always a good idea to know what's went on there. Research your land. Secondly, it's always good to reboot the energies in the land in that area. We cleanse a house, why not the land that you own? Rebooting the land is basically cleansing it from negativity, negative memories, healing the spirits attached to that land. You don't know what they went through. And you don't want to bear the brunt of their blast in terms of their anger, their ire, their unresolved issues or whatnot. The land that you own, if you own land, keep in mind it's alive. So too are the spirits, the elementals, which are jinn from my last video. Elementals are part of the land. You can't get rid of an elemental. The elemental will be part of that area, period. Keep in mind from my last video, elementals are jinn, and the jinn occupied the planet before the advent of humanity, and so they are part of earth, part of air, part of water, part of fire, part of all of these elements, because they were here when these elements were barely forming to create the earth we live in now. Okay, so keep that in mind. That's what an elemental is. Now, if you purchase property, land, and whatnot, it's just wise to cleanse it. It also has an attachment to the ancestors of that land, the original people that occupied the land that you now own. You want to pacify them as well because they're not going anywhere. They're part of the land. Okay, so those are the reasons why you may want to cleanse your property or the land that you own. And here's how. What I would do, or what I suggest, first cleanse your home that's on the land. And you would cleanse it. I would use black salt. Black salt is very powerful. It's my go-to to banish any type of entity. Anything. It just, boom. It's having black salt is already a symbol in of itself to the spiritual world, saying that you're not messing around. You're a banisher. You banish spirits, negativity of all kinds. So, first off, what I would urge you to do is make black salt in bulk. How do you do that? Here's how. What you do is you get a bucket and you pour rock salt or sea salt into it. So it's a lot substantial. What I suggest you do is you get another bucket, and in that other bucket, you put in ground up charcoal. Charcoal, like you're barbecuing, like a charcoal bag. Uh, those charcoal blocks, they have tar in it. That's the key ingredient for black salt. Um, you want to grind that up as much as possible, then make sure you have that charcoal powder. Mix the salt into the charcoal, and you just mix it. Okay, so that's how you create. That's how I create black salt. Now, this is my secret that I'll share with you. What I do, it's a little bit expensive. I get these small oils, essential oils, like myrrh, frankincense, palo santo oil, pine oil. I would also get vetiver. That's for hex breaking and banishing. These are all banishing oils: myrrh, palo santo, frankincense, vetiver. Very powerful for exorcism and banishings and hex breaking. I would also mix in, and these little bottles, you pour the entire thing into that big vat of black salt, the mixture of salt and charcoal. And you pour the whole thing in there. The myrrh, I would use all of those essential oils to put in there because it's a lot of salt, a lot of black salt. I would also put in olive oil. Olive oil is very powerful spiritually. And I would use that in there too. Then I would put in at least a lot of water in it. Not too much, but just, I would say, 5 cups of water for the big bucket. And then you just stir, and you just stir, you just stir. That way the salt is imbued with the essential oils, the charcoal, and all of it gels together. That's how I would make black salt in bulk. Now, what I would do is I would get some of that, the black salt, and rub it in my hands, and just cleanse myself. Just boom, boom, Then sprinkle the black salt around your home. I would sprinkle the black salt outside in the perimeter of your home. After you do this, that's when you would go around the perimeter of your property and sprinkle the black salt. That's very powerful because you're setting up boundaries and you're banishing negativity. I would sprinkle black salt on your property, around your property. Doesn't have to be even. It doesn't have to be, mathematical about it. You just sprinkle it everywhere, wherever you walk. Sprinkle it. Just try to get it as everywhere as possible. Okay, now that's banishing negative energies, negative entities. It's also letting the negative elementals, should you have them in your land, letting them know that you're not having any of their negativity. It will not get rid of negative elementals. Let me just say that out right now. But what it will do is lessen their presence, lessen their potency. They will get the message, and also it'll lessen them, but it won't remove them. Now, what you do after this is you get cornmeal. Cornmeal is very powerful. Cornmeal has a direct link to the ancestors, because the ancestors of this land, the Native Americans, corn was sacred. Corn was food. Corn was a staple. And sharing food or sharing cornmeal is a very sacred act. And it lets them know that you remember them. It lets them know that you're at peace with them. And it's an offering. You sprinkle the cornmeal around your property. And that's letting them know that you're at peace. Kind of like when you break bread with somebody, you're talking with somebody and whatnot. It's excellent. It's an excellent offering to the land when you sprinkle cornmeal around your property. I suggest while you're sprinkling cornmeal around your property to play Native American music, flutes, celebration ceremonies, happy indigenous music. It would be great if you can, if there is indigenous music that you have or that you can find on YouTube or wherever from Native Americans of that land, of that region. That would be great. But if you can't, hey, anything indigenous music, Native American music, because that's letting the ancestors know, hey, I remember and I respect. And that's when you're sprinkling the cornmeal around the land. You're letting them know that I'm at peace with you. Please be at peace with me. Can we coexist? And that's amplifying the positive aspects of you owning the land. Keep in mind regarding owning the land, I should say, from a spiritual perspective and from the perspective of the ancestors, nobody owns land. Let's just be real. On a spiritual level, when you pass or when you die, you're not taking the land with you. It's not yours. You know, another person's going to occupy that land. So you don't really own it. And you definitely don't own the ancestors or the elementals / jinn that occupied that land before time. You know, so just, you know, FYI, get that in your mind and get your mind right. But since you will be there, you know, and you own the land as far as, you know, the physical, material, human world, you're the owner of the land. Letting them know that you're at peace with them and that you want to coexist is great. And it's also a sign of respect for the dead, for the ancestors, for the spirits tied to the land, and for the elementals / jinn. Cornmeal, great thing to do. Keep in mind, this will also amplify the positive energy of the land itself, counteracting any negative jinn that are tied to the land, negative elementals that are tied to the land. So cornmeal will also empower positive energies, which will further weaken any negative influences or negative elementals there. I would also go this far. I could give this information to you. Lastly, to sanctify what you have done with the black salt, with the cornmeal, and with the playing with the Native American or indigenous music. To seal what you have done, it would be great to burn medicine wheel herbs. I go into what medicine wheel herbs are in my last video, but just a quick refresher. The medicine wheel is the most sacred symbol that unifies all Native American tribes. The medicine wheel is just, it's as sacred as the cross is to the Christians and Catholics. The medicine wheel bridges the blue road, the spirit worlds, and the red road, the physical world. It's healing the roads between the spirit world and the physical world. The medicine wheel is very powerful. So too are the herbs of the medicine wheel, which are sage, sweetgrass, cedar, lavender, and tobacco. Natural tobacco. Don't be using tobacco from a cigarette. Get some real natural tobacco. Okay, so when you burn these things together, the smell is just, oh my God. It's from my experience with this, with the herbs burn in unison, it's reminiscent of the energies of when the earth was young, when the elementals and mankind coexisted in peace. Young earth, hope, peace, innocence, clean, spiritual cleanliness, balance of nature and man. And these herbs burned together evoke that, you know, and it's just so powerful. I would burn that around your property, the smoke. Let the smoke go in there. It'll purify it. The spiritual world will understand what you're saying. And it's going to cleanse, heal, protect, you know. And I would close with that, you know. Also, what you could do is plant fruit trees on your land that you own, the property that you own. Plant fruit trees. Consult Home Depot or Home Improvement, any home improvement place where they sell plants and seeds. What fruit tree could you grow and that would grow in your region? You know, because that also, there's factors to consider. I don't have a green thumb, but I researched, you know, and that means that there's some fruit trees that would grow in some parts, but wouldn't grow or wouldn't take in other parts of the world. So do your research and see what fruit trees would grow on your property or land. You can plant one or two. Fruit, the reason why fruit is so powerful is because that fruit is nature's candy, you know? Fruit is sweet. And when you bite into an apple or a crisp apple, or when you peel an orange and have an orange, it's refreshing. It evokes feelings of joy, peace, you know, happiness, fulfillment. Fruit is very powerful. It has powerful medicine, in a sense that medicine, and how the Native Americans say medicine, which is ashe, energy, blessings, good energy, good medicine. Plant a fruit tree. And that's also letting the elementals know that you are at peace and that your presence is benign. And so too they will react in kind. These are some things you can do when you have land or when you own property. A lot of people they own property, but they cleanse the house, but the land is at odds with the house, and drama. Well, this way you can not only cleanse your home, but now you can cleanse the land. I would urge you, and this is important, to do this at least once every other month. Be consistent. And that will cleanse and erase any negative echo energy, time loops, you know, when spirits there are reliving their trauma and everything. That will break everything. Though some spirits will just want to leave. Other spirits that are tied to the land will stay, but they'll be at peace and they can heal. You know, this is a good way to do that. You're healing them. Always embark on things like this with good intentions, and with a healing and loving heart, with compassion for the land, for those tied to the land, for the ancestors, for the elemental / jinn. And when you do that, they are at peace with you. And they become part of your relation, part of your family. Because the land becomes part of your family. The good energies, the good elementals, the good ancestors, and everything become part of your family. Any pre-existing negativity, like negative elementals, negative spirits, or whatnot, they will lessen in power as you continuously do these cleansings. And they will be of no consequence to you. You can't remove them, but they will have no power over you. And the light will greatly outweigh the dark. I'll conclude with this. These rituals also can close any and all vortexes or portals that are negative. So these are good limpia spiritual cleansings for the land that I offer you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Just trying to bring light to dark places. Let me know what you think. I hope this information finds you well. And until next time, more videos coming.